welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jerry Votta. This is my co-host, Nick, and producer. And today's show is called Bitcoin Unlocks the Green Economy. Before we get started, obviously, we want to thank all our sponsors. We want to thank Quantum Expeditions. Basically, they are using methane flare gas to mine Bitcoin, and that gets some really cheap Bitcoin. And again, I don't think they have any open funding going on right now, but definitely something to look into. Also want to thank our sponsors at Shieldfolio. There should be a QR code coming for them. And basically what Shieldfolio is a seed phrase book that protects your seed phrases from prying eyes. And basically you have a special pen that can only be read in UV light. So that's another thing. If somebody opens it up, they just see blank pages. It's also waterproof. And I do believe in the future, they will be making one that is waterproof, fireproof, and totally 100% idiot proof, which is awesome. We know this. And another thing I like to throw out there, if people still have access to their funds, and remember, as long as there isn't high network fees, you can always just transfer those funds, create a new wallet, transfer those funds into that wallet. Obviously, like I said, depending on what protocol or what network you're using, the fees could be higher than you want, especially if it's an exchange, right? If it's a centralized exchange, they have a set percentage that they take or a set number of tokens, especially if it's like a meme coin. They might be like, yeah, we take 5,000, whatever, sorry. So be aware of that, but it's always something that you can do. If you lose a seed phrase, you can transfer the funds to a new wallet. Just be in mind that you could lose some funds if there is high network traffic. Also want to thank our sponsors at obviously Bitcoin Live and Deorganized Media before we get into the show. But today's show is Bitcoin, the Green Unlocks the Green Economy. And we're going to start with a video from Daniel Batten. I have queued up here, and let me start it now.
Where are we today? Now, the good news is that we have made some outstanding progress over the last few years. 90% of independent reports, more than 90% of mainstream media reporting, 92% sustainable media reporting, which is exceptional. I'll give you the resources that have this data. And more than 80% of peer-reviewed articles since the merge show strong environmental benefits to Bitcoin. So we've done some truly outstanding work. And this has been possible because of a team of honey badgers, but also people outside the Bitcoin ecosystem. And I'll give you this presentation, and each one of these is actually a link to a key event. So let's just pick one randomly. I'm going to snap my finger here. Okay, September 2023, Bloomberg Terminal, Jamie Coots, publishes for the first time Bitcoin ESG charts saying that Bitcoin is more than 50% sustainably powered. It was a watershed event. Another key event, when the ERCOT grid operator, Brad Jones, came out and publicly endorsed the benefit of Bitcoin accelerating the renewable energy transition. And then most recently, just this year, last year now, Cambridge University's report strongly endorsed Bitcoin's mining environmental benefits in the field of heat recycling, methane mitigation, and also saying it's more than 50% sustainably powered. So there was not one event. No, Bitcoin's environmental narrative did not change because of BlackRock. And I know because I've been watching the shift, and it happened gradually over a 4-year period. No, it did not happen because there was an influx of AI and the media got distracted and started attacking them instead. It happened because of the proof of work of a number of people inside and outside the Bitcoin ecosystem to improve the quality of research, data, reporting, and dissemination of information about Bitcoin.
So I just want to go back to that little chart here, and I have it queued up now. But you can see, right, March 2022, ERCOT grid operator publicly endorses Bitcoin acceleration of renewal. February 23 for Sustainability Magazine comments on Bitcoin's pro ESG benefits. March of 23. Skull of Satoshi artist publicly changes stance on Bitcoin. And people are starting to get it, right? Bitcoin is the green economy carbon credit that everyone has been talking about for many, many years now, right? Like 20, 30 years, people have been talking about this carbon credit. Bitcoin is the carbon credit. Let me fix my camera. There we go. It's a little off. Bitcoin is the carbon credit, and this is huge, right? And most of the world hasn't figured this out yet. And all of these milestones that Daniel's pointed out, this is the media coming to terms, right? And that's the thing, is this is the intellectual crowd is understanding the benefits of Bitcoin. They're not buyers, right? The smart money is starting to figure this out, right? Whether we're talking about it's Saudi Aramco or it's I think the UAE has a huge mine now running. We just have news, and we're going to share it on here, and I'll pull up my other tabs. You know, might as well do it right now. Let me back out. Oh, I got to point out, oh my gosh, it was like an amazing miracle today. Like, you can see over here, they made a line for bookmarks. Amen. Thank you.
They listen to you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is somebody who understands UX and UI, right? Like he's probably been like gone to his phone, gone onto his computer and be like, this is annoying. I have to hit the 3 dots. Thank you, Elon. Whoever, or if it was your UX UI person, whoever was on the team. Because now, like literally, I was like, where is it? I'm like looking and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm like, they added it as an actual line of its own. Amen. I was so happy, as you can see. It made my day. It was a little.
Then there might be fewer per show, right?
Yes, seriously, because it's like then I can always go back. Like if it kicks me out like it does, I just click that, and I don't have to hit the 3 lines, and it's just flow, right? It's just like good UX UI flow, and I'm all about flow. Apple's real good at it. You know, Google's pretty at it. But when I see these things and like obviously somebody picked up on it really quickly, that's amazing that they don't like take like literally. Okay, so we're gonna sidetrack. You know the thumbs up button on Facebook, like they invented that. There's a documentary about that. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
It took them 5 years to do that, or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
so that's why I'm impressed that like when they make changes all the time, X does, because they're trying to get better and better and better and better. And yeah, Facebook took like years to do a thumbs up emoji. And go watch the documentary. I forget where it's at. Just Google the thumbs up Facebook emoji documentary, and you'll be like, no, they spent that much money and time on that. But it is now an iconic thing and will go down in the history, you know, the web 2.0. But anyway, let's get back what the show is about, which is Bitcoin and the green economy. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about other Bitcoin stuff. And like I said, I'm just so happy that, you know, my bookmark tab is right there where it should have been all along. Amen. Let's watch this clip. This is from me. So first off, let's just share some macro. I did share on the QE Spaces I was just on. Starting this February 3rd on Tuesdays, and we don't get money from Bloomberg, anybody. I think we should. But
me too.
Yes, amen. They're because I watch their show every once in a while because I don't go to work until about like 9:35 or so. So Bloomberg Crypto starts at like 9 time Pacific Standard Time or whatever we're in right now, and it goes for 30 minutes. But this one ended, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, starting this date, we're going to 60 minutes, which is next week, February 3rd." Bloomberg Crypto is going to a full hour every Tuesday. So that's a big deal, y'all, if everyone's paying attention. But getting into why I think the golden bull run hasn't started yet is exactly this clip right here. And let's watch it. And I literally caught it right as I was about to head out for work. So here you go. Joins us. Sorry, that audio on my phone.
For somebody just tuning in right now, what are the differences between this stablecoin and Tether's other coin, USDT?
So obviously both are dollar pegged, which means one stablecoin equals $1, and it's supposed to maintain that peg. The main difference is that the new one is available for companies in the U.S., and that's a very big difference because in theory USDT is not available for companies in the U.S. But it is the biggest stablecoin by far and vastly. It has a circulation of 186 billion, and Tether is sort of the undisputed leader in the space. So this marks their re-entry in the U.S., and it's quite interesting to see what will happen for competition there. You know, it is compliant with Genius Act because it is issued by Anchorage Bank, and it's interesting to see who will adopt it and how the competition sort of landscape will play out, especially with Circle, which has been sort of the leader in the U.S.
So this is the big deal, right? Like banks now can get in, right? It's banked by Anchorage Digital, which is a digital crypto bank. So that means they FDIC approval, right? Like all these things are, the banks aren't sitting on like stacks of Tether, like ready to go, oh, we're going to spot buy Bitcoin. No, come on. That doesn't make sense when they can't even hold USDT, right? Which I didn't know. Like that was why, I'm always watching this stuff. And as an analyst, you've got to always put new knowledge in there. And that's a huge deal, right? Like now commercial banks and they're all going to, as soon as a couple of them use it, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this stuff's awesome. This is what we did anyway, but now it's secure. Yes, duh. Instead of you guys printing dollars out of nothing, at least now we know if you get X amount of USAT and you send it between the banks, we know exactly how much went. It went like that. And unless you're a complete moron and you send it to like, it's USAT on, let's say it's USAT on Ethereum, and you send it to a Bitcoin or a Litecoin address, like a moron, that's the only way they're not going to like it, right? And somebody does some dumb crap like that. But this is big news, right? Like they're going to start to now expand into the commercial sector, and Tether is, already close to $250 billion company, right? Like that's huge. And they're run by like 20 people, right? 15 or 20 people. And they're like massive. Now they have a new product that is commercial. So what does that mean? It doesn't just mean the banks can use it. Oh, that means Walmart could use it. Oh, that means Target and Carrefour and all these other retailers worldwide at the same time may be interested in taking Bitcoin. They also, for the people that aren't interested in those products, right? Because there's tons of people that don't invest in gold, right? But a lot of people did well in gold this week. That's awesome. But you can't use gold anywhere, right? I kid you not, a couple years ago when I moved from the coast of Oregon, the Astoria, which is like, it's called Class, where Goonies was shot. I was traveling. Oh yeah, it's really beautiful up there. Many movies were shot up there. Short Circuit was shot up there. Kindergarten Cop was shot up there. So next time, look around. It's like the most beautiful parts of
Schwarzenegger
West. Yeah, great movie. That shot where he started around the cop. I lived like 5-10 minutes from there. Anyway, this is huge, right? Because there's going to be retail people that, again, that get benefits from Bitcoin and get benefits from this new crypto economy that don't want to mess with the underlying asset at all and will never play with these assets. Just like there's millions of people that don't play with the stock market or options. Of course, my internet's getting slow now.
Well, we can still hear you.
Do it okay?
Yep.
Okay. It says, oops, connection lost. And I'm like literally like right next to my internet. Okay. It says I'm good again. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I was. I got a message, so I was kind of off track myself. But you were.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, so this is huge for. Go ahead.
How does that tie into the Clarity Act, right? And the sort of the unclarity surrounding it.
That's the whole important thing is that they want to, the Clarity Act, if it isn't passed correctly, the banks, they don't get it yet. Most of them don't get it. They're just hopping on just like it's the AI bandwagon, they're hopping on the crypto bandwagon. And a lot of them don't understand it 100% yet. The ones that do are few and far between. They're just riding this new technology wave. Like I said, once they do a couple of these transfers and they see it happens in minutes and how much moved and it's done very easy, especially if it's like obviously a man, but you're going to want to do it on Solana versus Ethereum because it's going to, you want to move $100 million on Ethereum. I don't know how much the gas fees are going to be. But there will be multiple protocols, obviously, that this tether will run on because already USDT can run on Ethereum, Tron, Solana, etc. And USDC does the same. Right? It runs on all these other protocols as well. You just have to be paying attention, right? Like if there are all these other options, there will be like some type of drop-down window. It'll be like, do you want to send this USDC Ethereum, USDC Tron, USDC Solana, and you just got to be paying attention and make sure your address matches the similar type of hexadecimal code that's in that address, right? Like that's the first thing I teach people is like, look at that hexadecimal address and does it look similar? And you can like, if you're smart and detail oriented, you can tell, right? Like a Bitcoin address looks like a Bitcoin address. A Litecoin address looks like a Litecoin address. All Ethereum addresses, right? Here's a quick breakdown for like, if it has a 0x, it's all Ethereum, right? It's some ERC20 token, right? So that's just the basics of, cryptocurrency 101. When you're doing that. But again, this makes it huge for where we're about to head because the Web 2.0 dollar system is not secure, right? We've gone over this many, many, many times. The hackers are like, oh, wow. The banks are like way less secure than a Bitcoin address. I think I don't know if I have that article pulled up, but right, I warned about AI being used and they're just experimenting and AI hacked all these ERC20 tokens. Oh, surprise. But can't hack Bitcoin. Wonder why.
Wait, I think I got it.
Do you have it? Yeah, pull it up, please, and thank you. Because since we're talking why I'm, now becoming a pseudo maxi, which even though I'm not 100% a maxi, I'm a proof of work person. This is why I've warned against proof of stake. Your network starts to go around the laws of thermodynamics, and then we get into, wonky world, right? We can do whatever we want.
He deleted it. I think it was this one, actually.
Give me a second. My dog has to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah. I think the original post has been deleted. It was documenting Bitcoin. Let's see if I can.
And I might have it pulled up. I'm going to check my bookmarks real quick because I think I may have pulled up.
1 second. I'll search to. Maybe they updated the tweet.
No, I don't. Give me a sec. I'll find it.
I think it seems like the original tweet was deleted that you referenced to, because I think it was from documenting Bitcoin. Let's see. I actually shared it with some people.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you find it?
No, yeah, I found it, but I think that, yeah, like I said, the original tweet, that because I used your reference.
Gotcha.
So your reference is there, but
yeah, here it is. I found it. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me see. Did it? Come on, internet. Anthropic, put real money, line, new test. Really, like, why do you put ads over everything? Like, it's literally the internet has become like Las Vegas, right? Everything's beep, 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 beep. Yeah, there's another pop up. Okay, awesome. What the heck is this? Go away. Why are you even here? Okay. Here, share this tab. Sorry. The work tracked how fast AI tools move from spotting bugs to draining funds using real smart contracts that were attacking in 2025 across Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Base. What do all of those have in common? Anthropic said in November, a bug balancer led attacker steal more than 120 million from users. But this is a different article. I'm happy it's even totally different because this is way more money. I thought the article said 4.6 million. Same core skills used in an attack now sit inside AI systems that can reason through control paths, spot weak checks, and write exploit code on their own according. Yeah. This is why I'm going to go back to my bookmarks. This is why, again, I've been warning about Ethereum for some time now. I don't, again, do I still have some NFTs? Yes. Do I still have a little bit of ETH somewhere? Yes. Do I sack it anymore? No. Because the Ethereum virtual machine, again, has gotten so bloated and so huge that it has big gaping holes in it. And the sooner we'll realize this, the better the whole cryptoverse is, right? Vitalik Buterin, right? I think I might have had that tweet pulled up. Let me see if I did, because I was about to share this video, but let me see if I have the Buterin tweet. I don't think I do. But he was just saying the other day, you know, if Bitcoin, if not Bitcoin, if crypto is just a speculative asset, if it has no use cases, then it fails. And it's like, yeah, that's Ethereum, bro. That's you.
But Gerald,
Bitcoin.
yeah. Ethereum is good for the environment. It has proof of stake.
Yeah, it's proof of stake, of course. Yeah, whatever. Again, it wants to, as soon as we get into POS models, I've said this time and again, where if it's proof of stake, DPoS, there's becomes problems, whether it's validators, especially in delegated proof of stake, where there's, the 21 model. I don't know how many times people do a 21 validator model, it fails, and then, oh, let's do it again. No, you dumbasses. I'm sorry. No, stop it. It has to be true decentralization, like Bitcoin, like Litecoin, like Dogecoin, even though most Dogecoin is Litecoin mine. Let's be real. It's another reason to get into Litecoin mining. You can just dual mine get an L9 or whatever they are, L10. I don't know what they're up to, but you're mining, you merge mine, it's called, right? And while you're mining Litecoin, you're in Dogecoin, and you just take your Dogecoin and sell your Dogecoin. Hello, I'm just saying, like, this is one of the most amazing things about the crypto economy, right? If you or me takes a laser printer and takes euros or dollars and puts it on that printer within hours, especially if it's got Ethernet plugged into it, it could be maybe a few weeks. Someone's knocking at your door. Yeah, we saw, because your printer is connected to the internet, even if it's wirelessly connected to the internet. Just saying. Ding dong. Yeah. What's this, right? But the whole other end of the spectrum, you can go mine Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Monero, whatever. And you are printing money legally.
And securing the network.
And securing the network, which is the most important thing. When anytime, like I, run a helium node, even though it's only a sliver I get a helium, I'm still earning helium. And guess what? They made their network super decentralized by handing out all these free nodes. And even though the people handing out those free nodes took a lot of that helium in the beginning days, I still earned some helium because of it, right? And I still help build out that network that, has now, it was a huge web, now shrunk a little, but that web's starting to grow again because now the telecom companies have figured out, oh my gosh, you're using LoRa network. Oh, we want in on this. AT&T and Sprint, or not Sprint anymore, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon and the like, they're like, oh, wow, have customers that don't pay for telecom? Yes. What? And then their next tier up, right? You earn crypto back, right? That's the Web3 economy, people. And again, getting back to why BTC unlocks this green economy, all these solar farms, right? They have months where they're generating tons of energy. Nobody needs it. Same thing with wind. It gets windy in all these parts of the country and parts of the world. It gets windy at certain times of the year. They're generating tons of energy and nobody needs it, right? Guess what? Switch over. Now we're earning Bitcoin. They will never have these deficit cycles that eventually, if you're not a big enough farm, right, lose money. And then you get in the hole, then you have to cut. Oh, we have to fire this person. Well, we have to fire that person. Oh, we have to cut back on, upkeep, fix stuff as soon. Oh, okay. Or those new transmission lines, we can't do that. And then it gets worse and worse and worse. And Bitcoin does the opposite, right? And getting back to it, like I said earlier, one of the use cases we didn't talk about, when the government does this, because hopefully, and this is coming sooner than later, because all the things are coming faster and faster. Like you said, the Clarity Act makes all this very important. But another thing is, like, we need the Bitcoin mining authority, right? That's what makes income tax go away, where whatever they call it in your country, I don't know what they're going to call it, but in this country, I'm calling it the Bitcoin mining authority, right? And we go from state to state. We find dumps that have methane leaking. We find, if it's Texas, it's oil fields that have, like, these old oils that just have methane flare burning off. And if it's the units, the local jurisdiction owns it, why aren't you capping it, right? Then we're stopping that methane from going into the environment. That's helping the environment. Methane is the worst gas of them all. It's 10x worse than CO2. CO2 plants love, right? Yeah. Methane, nobody loves. Oxide from cars, right? Well, again, why I have to science nerd, even though I'm not a super duper nerd, I'm pretty nerdy, but carbon monoxide is a killer for everything on the planet. So anything that can take these things out of our air is pro ESG, and Bitcoin does this, right? Especially these, if you want to have this huge solar farm like China has, this is why China will get back into Bitcoin, not because they want to, because they have to. They have these massive solar farms everywhere over the south of China. And if they want those farms to stay online for the next 50 years, you will have to strap either ASIC Bitcoin miners or Litecoin miners to them. Because if you don't, those months where they're generating tons of sun energy, and it's, like I've said this many times, that big early spring and everyone's windows open, you're just burning through money. And the bigger the scale, the faster you burn through that capital, right? So it's only a matter of time where they hit that peak of, they're doing peak power for solar, and a lot of countries are doing this now. And eventually at that scale, they're like, we can't keep this thing open. It's just we get into these months where, and what's going to happen when they get into those downtimes, what does every country do? Brrr, money printer time, more money, print more money, print more money. You can't do that anymore. That's why every business in the world, if you're generating tons of energy, right? I just tweeted this out. I should have put that in my bookmarks. I didn't, but BTC is this far superior than AI. AI is awesome and it's going to be there. And I don't try to talk down on it, but just the other day, right? NVIDIA gave CoreWeave $2 billion because what's happening? Oh, CoreWeave's falling into a hole, right? Here's one of the things that we've never discussed. Why I'm not anti-AI. Like I always want to point that out. I'm not anti-AI. I'm just trying to tell you that you should be investing huge swaths of money into Bitcoin mining because it creates this capital that you have, right? AI doesn't do that. And one of the biggest suckholes of AI is liability, right? And we've never really, I think me and you might have discussed this. We haven't discussed this on the show, right? Let's look, let's take Siri for an example. Siri was like literally the first LLM that's ever existed, right? She has all these algos that she can reference. But let's just use her. In the beginning, she was almost like ChatGPT, right? She's not like that anymore. Why is that? Liabilities. She gave out wrong information. She gave out wrong directions. If you notice, if you ask her that anything that's out of her programming now, she says, I found this on the web, right? I found this on the web, right? That's what's going to happen to ChatGPT. You know how many lawsuits ChatGPT has right now for people unaliving themselves? Multiple. Yeah. So that's just that. Well, what happens when it's, somebody asked for a home remedy for a cream and it led to an infection and that person, their leg cut off. Oh, there's another lawsuit in the waiting, right? So now Siri has all these like walls. They put all these like walls around her. Why? To protect her from saying the wrong thing and Apple getting sued. So that's why Siri's not that great unless it's something that's access to your keys in your data sets. She's not like, oh, I'm not giving you 100% answer, but something that's even scarier. And I told it to my buddies a couple of days at work. I'm like, you want to hear something really scary about Siri? And he's like, what? I was like, well, one day I saw one of those ads, and in America, we've everywhere. They're not, that's the one thing most people don't realize. You go to other countries, they don't, like, every other commercial isn't about this pharmaceutical that less than 1% of the population needs, right? But guess what? I said to Siri one day, I said, hey, and I was like, what's this? And I said the drug's name. It came up, and she was like, it's this, and here's this. Like, she had a whole paragraph. And then I did it with another pharmaceutical. Then I did it with another. It's like, so what you're telling me is that Apple gets paid money from the pharma company, so Siri knows what your drugs are. Creepy, Apple. Just saying. Real creepy. Anyway, I'm right. That's the even scarier part. Let's get back to Bitcoin. Here's a good one from our good friend Fibbo Swanee, who's one of the technical TA masters out there. Bitcoin equals time. We've talked about this many times on the show. It's the best preserver of your time and energy, and any better than gold, better than silver, better than platinum. And as soon as you figure that out, you'll realize at every like $50 to $200 you're putting into Bitcoin, you're taking back like a couple months of your life, right? You're like, and it makes it easier. I orange pilled somebody in one tweet yesterday. And I was like, damn, I'm getting good. And I basically said to this guy, I was like, Bitcoin fixes this, because he was like, the economy's getting tough. And I was like, Bitcoin fixes this. And he's like, oh, I was too late. I was like, no, you're not. You're never too late to a new technology. Were you too late to the dollar? And he's like, you're right. And I was like, start stacking, son. And that's how it's done, right? Like once the light bulb goes off, right? You're not too late to a new asset, right? Like if you go to a new country, you're going to have to start saving in that new paper crappy money, right? Like, let's be clear. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. As soon as you start to realize it's just another currency that you can put your time and energy into, because that's what it is. It is a thermodynamic cryptographic money, right? It is energy money. And that's what makes it superior. That's why proof of work, the name of our show, that's why it is superior because it applies thermodynamics to the real world. And as soon as you get into proof of stake, we start to get into the virtual realm where, oh, can I make 100 quintillion of these coins? Yes, I could. Oh, well, maybe I don't want to be playing in those networks anymore. Because they'll tell you, oh, it's 100 in this million, and then, oh, now it's 120 million, and now it's whatever.
Yeah, it's basically, Gersham's law, right? The hardest money wins out, and you spend
exactly
this money. I also want to
highlight all of those hard monies are starting to win. We saw Zcash, Monero. I know I've been a big Litecoin supporter. The reason why Litecoin is like struggling is because people use it. Monero, Zcash, people are just stacking it because they know I need privacy. If we're going into this crypto universe, I need privacy. It literally, as we are going into this neo economy, right? This crypto verse, thermonuclear war becomes totally insane, right? Whether it's we're talking to Web 2.0 or Web 3.0, right? If anything like that is detonated near any central hubs of actual commerce, your economy is going down, and if you're the neighbor, your economy is going down, right? You can't just like put up EMP shielding from this section of this city, right, and block it from the other city. No, that's not how science works, y'all. So to use one of these devices, whether it's it's next level, right? We're talking like EMP devices. It doesn't make sense. You're just going to wipe everyone's data out. And that's why Bitcoin becomes more important. It doesn't waste energy. It doesn't waste your time. It helps with grid balancing, right? That's another reason it helps with ESG, right? The reason, let's pull up the hash rate. The reason we saw this huge dip in the hash rate was because of the polar vortex, right? And I'm one of the few analysts that keeps hammering on this point. Let me hit refresh because it looks like it went away. There we go. Zoom out to 6 months. Yes, thanks. Go way ahead. Here it was, right? So all these miners that still, and Doug said this in the show. I didn't know it was still, but like I think it's like close to 90% of the ASICs out there are air cooled. So isolated hubs, right? They froze over, and you got to thaw them out, right? This is why Quantum Expeditions does immersion mining. A lot of people have gone that way. It cuts down on noise. It cuts down on these issues as well. If they're in immersion cooled miners, they're not damaged. But yeah, let's take a look at the hash rate chart because I'm a hash rate nerdazoid. This is what happened. It went from like getting close to, where is it? Right around over a zettahash here, and then to the lowest. It's been probably, it looks like in 6 months. Let's get to a year chart. Zoom out again. Yeah, it looks like probably the lowest in, let's see, the lowest almost in a year. Let's see. Very close. So it didn't break the trend line though. That's actually very bullish, by the way, which I didn't notice till right now. That's a good thing. And obviously, look how fast it's recovered. I mean, let's just go back to the chart.
Can I ask a question about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because people say this bull run is still ongoing, and I believe that, but it's just my personal opinion. But they always say there's like 3 big reasons why that is the case. Like there was no coin redistribution, there was no blow off top, but they also say there was no miner capitulation. So was this
Yeah.
a minor capitulation, or was this just a bad weather?
That's just bad weather. That's all it is. There's like tons of miners. I mean, if you were anywhere in Texas, right? This is like 80% of Texas was in like, 20-degree weather, or less in some parts, right? The more north your miners were, the colder it got. And then another thing, like I said, I'm hammering on this point as a super, macro analyst. The 3/11/11 earthquake shifted the polar axis of the poles, right? We're not sure exactly how many degrees. I'm sure we can probably figure this out with GPS and all this now. That's why we get these geostorms, like they come down, like there's people in Oklahoma and people in Texas, northern Texas. We're getting a G5 tonight. You go outside, you can see the what? That's like physically impossible unless the poles have moved, right? That's why we're getting these polar vortexes. They're coming down to the Gulf of Mexico. Like Miami, like people are like, I see people are like in Mississippi, like big puffy coats because it's like 20 degrees and they've got like but let's be very clear. This is not spectacular, right? There's no way you could get these geostorms this far south. And these massive ones. We're not talking like G1s or G5s, right? These are the seas of magnetic storms that come from the sun. There's a great guy on YouTube. I think he's called Solar Observer or something like that. He's been doing space weather. You know the guy? He's in the United States. I think he's in like the Southwest somewhere. But he's been doing space weather for years, and I highly recommend go watch some of his videos if you're really nerdy and you like learning about stuff. But these magnetic storms have been coming so south because the poles have shifted, right? This is why there's, I've been warning. How long have I warned that all of these miners shouldn't be congregating in one jurisdiction? I've said this time and time again. Why? Because this has happened in the past. And as somebody who studies patterns, I see patterns, and it's only a matter of time before my prediction comes to fruition, right? Where have we seen this? Well, when the miners used to live in China, right, they would get these huge rainy seasons. And then what happens? Oh, if you were in the low-lying parts of where these huge farms were, they got flooded. And all of their miners get destroyed in those scenarios. And then what happens? The miner hash rate dips, and then all these people, especially if you're like a massive Bitcoin mining farm, now you got to take all your Bitcoin and you got to go buy all new ASICs. So what happens? Price goes pew. That's why we're not seeing any of this. Another layer is now the miners, not only can the miners take loans against their Bitcoin, there's a ETF coming out for hash rate, right? So at some point, you'll be able to take loans out against just your hash rate. Are you paying attention, y'all? This is why proof of work is far superior, because it makes the energy game deflationary. AI makes the information game inflationary almost at every level. Yes, if you're some dude using it free to make your AI videos and you get millions of followers, that's awesome for you. That's not awesome for CoreWeave that's fallen into this abyss. And here comes NVIDIA. Oh, here's 2 billion. What? No, NVIDIA. No. I saw the other day, who was it? Gap. WorldCoin? Gap. No, Gap. No. Bitcoin, Litecoin. Even Solana is better than WorldCoin. Like, come on. I'm keeping it real. Even XRP is better than WorldCoin. Come on.
But why is why does the green energy transition need Bitcoin miners?
Yeah, again, it all comes back to these amazing things that nature provides us. The sun, the wind, the tides, all of these things will create infinite amounts of energy, right? It's a matter of when and where power is needed. And when you add Bitcoin into to, whether it's tidal, wind, solar, which are all these massive forms that were about to explode exponentially over the next 10 years. When you tie them into a Bitcoin economy, then you never have these lulls in your budgets, in your funds, in your reserves, and you're always going to be like, oh, we've got some Bitcoin, we can sell that. And what would start to happen? Yeah, go ahead, share this one. Oh, go ahead. This lady's a clown again.
Because the new scientists,
right
they believe that's not the case, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
The problem isn't necessarily Bitcoin itself or cryptocurrency itself. It's actually the mining. It takes a colossal amount of computing power to mine a single Bitcoin. It uses up as much energy as some entire countries still. Just Bitcoin, not cryptocurrency in general.
And in terms of if it is a good investment or not, you had some interesting comparisons with that, didn't you?
Basically, if you look at sort of the recent history, you're better off just buying a bunch of Pokemon cards than Bitcoin. It is just a big betting market. The other problem is that you can't use Bitcoin for anything. So if you've got a bunch of Bitcoin, it's hard to make a transaction. Very few places accept it. The average carbon footprint of a flight from London to New York is smaller than a single Bitcoin transaction. So environmentally, it would be better to just take your cash and put it in a briefcase and fly it to wherever you're sending it. So right now, it's just this betting market. You can't even do that. Great.
That's illegal in like every country. You can't do what she just said. Don't listen to this woman. She's insane. I never watched the whole clip. You can't put a whole bunch of cash and fly it. No. You will get stopped by customs. You'll get stopped by their secret police, whatever country, MI6 if you're in London. You'll get stopped by the FBI if it's the United States, NSA, Homeland Security. A whole bunch of three-letter people will be coming for you if you have a briefcase full of cash. Just saying, girlfriend. That's why Bitcoin is superior to all other forms of money. Full stop. I know.
You wanna finish it?
No, not really. Let's get to why this is all clownery, right? We've shown time and time again that all of these green energy generating forms of energy can be profitable. But once we start to get to scale, they start to fail when we get in these temperate zones, right? It's not going to happen at the equator, with people in solar farms, right? They're going to need their AC, and the sun's always going to be beaten down if it's the Sahara Desert, right? So that's awesome for them. But when you get in these temperate zones, which we know, if you ever looked at the globe, we see those little swirly lines, and they're like, I think it's the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn, right? When you get above those zones and we have the seasons, right? That's where most of the people on the planet live, by the way. That's where we get into these deficit zones, whether it's wind, solar, tidal, where, it's generating tons of energy, but it's the springtime. Nobody needs it. Now we're switching to Bitcoin. Or if it's the opposite, and in Texas, and ERCOT's like, holy moly, everyone and their grandmom and every movie theater is packed because it's AC season. We need you guys to turn off. And then literally they're like, here's a check. And it's probably not even a check anymore, right? It's a wire transfer, right? And at some point that wire transfer becomes a Lightning transaction, right? And it's the circular economy keeps moving, right? One of the main reasons, like I keep saying this time and time again, is that Bitcoin isn't going to like 150 or 200K. It's because all of these degenerate gamblers keep taking their credit cards out, whether it's USDT, it's their actual credit card, it's their own Bitcoin, and they want to kill on the price of Bitcoin. And then you're just making CZ more money, BitMEX more money, Coinbase more money, Brian Armstrong more money. That's all you're doing, right? And then what happens? They take that Bitcoin and then they keep some for themselves. They convert some back into Tether and USDC, and then you come back and then they sell you some more Bitcoin that you just gave to them, right? Are you seeing where I'm going? Stop. Hodl. Stop. Hodl. And then some point you're like, oh my gosh, I got half a Bitcoin. Holy moly. Yeah, exactly. Keep doing that. Repeat the process. Your stack will grow. Your stack will grow. Your stack will grow. And then you'll be happier and not miserable. And then I lost my Bitcoin again. Oh. Stop. Because that's what you're going to keep doing, because they're the market makers now, right? They have way more capital. They have now AI tied into their trading bots, right? Let's be clear. You're not going to win. So the only way to win this game is you find a coin or a token that has utility, real life utility, and you stack it and you stack it. Guess what the best one is? Bitcoin. Guess what the second best one is? Litecoin. Why? Proof of work. Simple as that. If you're tying it to real energy and the real world, then like I said, then we get into fantasy land. And that's when it becomes magic internet money. This is thermodynamic, physic, cryptographic money, right? Oh yeah, and the other thing, greenhouses, right? How many applications do we talk about? Since Bitcoin is a heat machine, ASIC miners are heat machines. How many products can be built? Heaters, right? You could create, hello Samsung, make a heater like that you dry clothes in. You could mine Bitcoin, right? They just showed it the other day. I think I have that one pulled up. What's yours? What article you got here? Their sun or wind CH or capital. Oh, that's that's Daniel company, right? Yeah. Secret ingredient to make Bitcoin 100% sustainable. It will be 100% sustainable. So my new theory is, I saw a map the other day. I wish I would have saved it. Generate Bitcoin ratio. We're on it, right? Like it costs this much. It costs this much.
Yeah.
The miners, once Bitcoin gets to that new number, right? Whatever it is, 1 million, 2 million, 10 million, it's going, it's coming. Let's be real. When that move comes, the miners are going to start gravitating to where these like smaller countries that have way cheaper energy, right? Now keeping up. I wonder why it costs more to make energy. But they used to be real cheap. They're not like the cheapest anymore. They're still cheap relatively to everywhere else in the world. But there's a lot of countries where the cost to generate Bitcoin is very high. The green economy, because people like quantum expeditions, they're going to search for cheap energy sources, right? That methane for them, that methane flare is almost, I'm pretty sure, costing them nothing, right? You go to a dump and you convince your local municipality to cap that off, because almost every dump in the world, if they get sun, they're kicking off methane. Let's be clear. I know a little bit about this stuff because I'm a weirdo. But what starts to happen, it's called the lasagna effect, right? And they stack the trash, right? Like in layers. And after it gets to like 6 to 7 layers, guess what? It hits, that sun's cooking it down to those lower layers. That stuff starts to decay, and here it comes the methane, and boom, you convince a municipality to do that. You're getting that at almost free, and now you're generating money from almost a free energy source. Yeah, Ethiopia made 55 million in the last 10 months by mining Bitcoin. That would have gone to waste, right? So as all these energy companies figure this out, it's only a matter of time. And then once Bitcoin hits that easy number, whether it's 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, whatever it is, that's when the race is on for all these other protocols to perform. I think that's when Litecoin starts to shine, because at that point, it's like, holy moly, we are using a lot of energy right now. Because let's just look at the hash rate chart. It recovered quite quickly. Oh, sorry, I forgot to let my dog back in. He's actually clawing at the door. Yeah, I still do have it pulled up. It's already back close to a zettahash, right? It's recovered from that 600 dip. I'm just letting my my dog back in.
No problem.
I hope you weren't getting too much crazy pants. All right, lay down. But yeah, it's already recovered, and you know they're they're still having not horrible cold weather. It's warmed up. I think I checked the weather the other day. They're getting into the 40s and 50s again. And that's what takes time, right? They literally have to put like space heaters in these places, melt them down, then dry them, right? And then they got to dry them all off, make sure they are okay. And then once they're all okay, boom, they go back online. Nico, quiet, please. Yeah, this is the difference, right? Let's be very clear. We're starting to see why Bitcoin is a superior asset to paper money. I think I do have that pulled up as well. There is a tweet going around from the other day. Nico, sorry, it's my roommate's dog. She's at work right now. Hey, quiet. Where's bookmarks? There we go. Give me 1 second. I know I've got it here. Oh yeah, here it is. This is 100% why you need to get off zero. Let's be very clear. I'm going to read this whole tweet, and then, you know, if you haven't read it already, your jaw's about to hit the floor. I'm a reserve manager at a central bank. My job is buying gold. 297 tons this year, quietly, while we print money, loudly. Gold hit 5,000 an ounce yesterday. We've been buying since it was 1,800. That's called reserve diversification. Diversification means we don't trust our own currency, but we keep that. So we say diversification. The governor went on television last month. He said inflation is anchor means 6%. Used to mean 2%. We moved the anchor. Oh, I think we said that on the show. That was coming, by the way. That's monetary policy. He said the currency is sound. Sound means losing 20% of its value per year, but it sounds sound. That's what matters. We bought 45 tons in November. Poland bought 95 tons. Brazil, 43. China, 1. China's lying. We all know. Nobody says it. 95% of central banks plan to buy more gold next. That's a survey. We surveyed ourselves on whether we trust ourselves. We don't. We trust gold. Citizens ask why prices keep rising. We say supply chains. We say external factors. We don't say we printed 40% of all money in existence since 2020. That's not external. That's us. This minister asked if gold is a hedge against our own policies. I said gold is a strategic reserve asset. Strategic means yes. I just can't say yes. Gold is 5,000 now. Our currency buys every day. Our gold buys more. That's the strategy for us, not for you. You get the currency. We get the gold. That's central banking. Boom. Nico, please. I've only got like 10 more minutes. But yeah, this is why you should be a hodler right there. They're letting you know we're going to keep debasing the currency. Nothing you can do about it. You can keep stacking in dollars. You will keep feeling the pain and reaping the whirlwind, right? Yes, and this is what we're starting to see, right? TEPCO, wind farms all across the globe are starting to realize if we tie ASIC miners into the equation, what happens? Oh, we become profitable again. Shocking. Let's go back. Let me see. To my other bookmarks. I have more on what's going on, not only in Bitcoin. Oh yeah, here's the new heater. This one today, a Bitcoin actual space heater for your house. Here we go. Yeah, go commercial. Yeah. It's terahash. Easy app. Love it. Heatbit. Yeah, whatever. Again, when people say there's no use cases, like that lady, like those guys I tweeted last time. Sorry, I'm not on the right tab. It's insanity. Like literally, here's somebody selling a space heater that mines Bitcoin, and then they literally, you sync their wallet to it, and it's going right to your phone. And then guess what? Don't hold it in their wallet, right? Move it to your own wallet. Smart. Yeah, Bitcoin energy sources. We're starting to see these sectors grow. Obviously, hydro and wind are the biggest. Solar and nuclear are starting to grow, but we can see that a ton comes from hydro, a ton comes from natural gas, a decent amount comes from coal as well. A lot comes from coal. And that'll change, right? Because as these energy sources start to compete against each other in a real free economy, which is the Bitcoin economy, all of these things will start to get squashed, right? They'll, literally.
And we should also add
Go
that from all of the industries out there, Bitcoin uses the most renewables. So there's no industry out there that uses more renewable energy than Bitcoin.
Yeah, and
it's growing
again. Yeah, and it's becoming, and as like the price of the renewable sectors deflates, right? Then more Bitcoin miners will move into those sectors, right? And that's what I was saying is, as the price of Bitcoin accelerates, the Bitcoin miners are going to have to migrate to, cheaper energy sectors, right? Whether that's, El Salvador or other, that's going to happen. It will happen. It's already happened. The great China migration to the US. And when it gets too costly to mine, that's why they're building all these AI data centers. Well, guess what's going to happen? Some of those AI data centers will push Bitcoin miners out of the United States into cheaper energy sectors just because they're more profitable. Some of those, I wish I would have saved that map. Some of those countries where I saw it, literally, it was like $3,000 to $10,000 to generate a Bitcoin. I was like, I was thinking about moving there. I was like, I just need like 20 to 30K. And the cool part is, right, like El Salvador, if you have enough Bitcoin, you can do it. They'll make you a citizen, being like that. Greenpeace spent years lobbying to save Virunga Park and failed. Leonardo DiCaprio spent millions on a documentary and failed. Yeah, Bitcoin miner said we can monetize Virunga's stranded renewable energy to save the park. Oh, and it worked. Da, 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 da. So again, this all goes back to why Bitcoin is superior to AI. It can be bootstrapped to these small projects that before seem implausible because of the numbers, right? You start running the numbers and you're an energy company, you're like, nah, it's not worth it. We're not going to do it. When you start adding in a few ASICs, right? You're talking about, only in the $20,000 extra capital, and that can turn into tons of money. Well, guess what? It's worth doing it. Here we go, right? I was one of the first analysts that said this will happen. Here we go. Energy from landfills could fuel Bitcoin mining and clean the air, right? It's one of the biggest under-discussed stories in the whole world. Every country has dumps. We know this. They all create horrible smells, odors, and poisonous toxic gases. Why not take the methane out of them and make money? And that's how the BMA works, right? The BMA goes, boop, boop, boop. We can find this municipal oil field that nobody's doing anything with this flare. Boom, we cap it. We're taking the oil, we're cleaning the air in that area. It's a dump in the middle of Wyoming. They're capping that methane. They're creating money by generating Bitcoin. Again, it's a win, 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 win. That little that project for the Virunga Park, right? That became viable because they bootstrapped a couple of ASIC miners into their equation. And now, we can save the park. Oh, amazing. So Bitcoin isn't this boogeyman that these wackadoo, half-ass intellect believe, right? Like I always call people out that are like this, like how, like, did you ever do a Bitcoin transaction? Do you know how it works or anything about it? They just read this little blurb that their producer gave them that says Bitcoin bad. You talk bad about Bitcoin, bad Bitcoin, bad. And that's their selling point. And it's total, this boogeyman that's totally made up because The human population will continue to use energy exponentially. We all know this. If you love your AI, guess what? It chugs energy 10x more than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin can go offline, right? A farm can go offline and Bitcoin still works. Oh, your one little AI data center goes down, and guess what? Chat GPT, it's offline. Just like a lot of the Web 2.0. Cloudflare gets attacked with this massive DDoS attack. Bitcoin doesn't go, right? Litecoin doesn't go down. This is why these incentivized networks are the future. Pay for free compute is a failure, right? I don't know how many times I have to say that. The free internet is a failure. Incentivized protocols will be the future. They're more secure, they're safer and stronger. How did Bitcoin save 150 acres of rainforest from leaving family after 5 generations? After arriving in Costa Rica, I visited the jungle-clad Poyas volcano to meet the landowner Eduardo Copper and found out many years ago, Eduardo had the smart idea to build a renewable micro hydro station using the untapped power of the river running through his property to sell power back to the grid for steady profit. Each year, everything was going well until, let me guess, the state wouldn't give him money back anymore. Oh, COVID hit. As business shut down, so did the demand for power. Without warning, ICE, the country's energy utility contractor, saying, we are permanently ending our power purchase agreements. What did I say? Here comes the government to take away your cash cow, right? We're permanently ending our power purchase agreement with all private electricity generators effective immediately. Overnight, a cash flow turned into a white elephant. C micro hydro operations are capital intensive, and he still owed the bank, but he had no revenue to pay the monthly interest payments. So guess what? After months of rising debt, he put the keys to property on his bank manager's desk saying, I cannot pay this room. I am forfeiting my property, dwellings, and hydro station to you. The bank manager arranged a mortgage holiday, but this was only a 3-month stay of execution. On day 3 later, with still no prospect of paying off his debt, Eduardo was talking to his son-in-law. Have you considered Bitcoin, he said. Eduardo's reaction was the same as many people when they first hear of Bitcoin. A Ponzi scheme, forget it. That just put it. But his son-in-law persisted. Bitcoin miners need a lot of energy, and they can locate anywhere. He said a light bulb went off in Eduardo's head. Within days, he bought 2 secondhand S19 mining rig and hooked it up to the power. 2 days later, he was sitting in a cafe eating lunch. The cafe accepted Bitcoin, so he paid for it using the Bitcoin. He ran some numbers and realized he found the answer. Oh, imagine that. It was Bitcoin. Excited, he shared the revenue projection with his manager and incredibly was able to negotiate another loan for the on-site data center. 2 months later, he had 4 mining huts up and several hundred Bitcoin mining rigs, turning surplus hydropower into Bitcoin. With the profits from Bitcoin mining, Eduardo started a new ecotourism business on his property, employing 40 people, hiking trails, zip lines, traverse through the jungle. Migratory birds rest on the reservoir on their journey south. Land is organic and grows its own food. Surprise. As we roamed his property together, I asked what would have happened without Bitcoin mining. He paused to regard a free-range goose roaming the property and said, well, we'd have no staff, a rusting hydro plant, and I have lost this property of 5 generations to the bank. Eduardo's story is not an anomaly. Halfway around the world, a similar story emerged from Virunga. Okay, we just talked about that. Who's that? In the picture?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a hero. I mean, Batten is really amazing. And for the people who are not following him, follow him.
Yeah, please follow DS Batten on on X. Again, he is one of the people like myself that's standing on the mountaintop saying, if you want this green economy to work, you have to integrate Bitcoin mining. It's not there's no other option. Everything else fails, right? When you start to scale these projects, these massive energy projects, at some point, the capital that they just starts, huge vortex forms, right? We discussed this. And literally, you can't pay your bills, just like Eduardo. I can't pay my bills because he's got so much power. He can't sell it to anybody now. The government won't buy it. This is another scenario we have to discuss, right? He had a contract. Government cancels his contract. Wah, wah, wah. This happens all the time, right?
And Bitcoiners will always buy, or you run them yourself.
Exactly. And the funny part of that story, there it is, DS Batten on X, is that he took some of the Bitcoin and he just mined and he spent it at the cafe. And then he got it. Circular economy. He understood it just like that. And now he's what, 4 huts on the property. He's now expanded. He's got a tourism business. He's got 40 employees. Hello, are you paying attention?
And he's saving the rainforest, right? The animals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. And that same thing. And then it led right into the Virunga project, where they did the same thing. They had obviously extra hydropower. The government canceled their project. They need money. Oh, what are we going to do? Add some ASICs into the equation. Oh my gosh, now we have capital. And again, you can apply this to hydro, wind, solar, tidal. All of these is where the sector will move towards, because as Bitcoin pushes their prices down, guess what? Oh, the cost to generate a megawatt through wind becomes really cheap. And people are like, I'm going to wind now because coal costs too much, right? Now they're charging me for that methane. I was getting that methane for free. Guess what? Oh, now the oil and gas company wants to charge me for this methane that they were giving to me for like pennies on the dollar. Anti-Bitcoin change the code campaign ends. Good job, Greenpeace. You starting to figure it out? Yeah. Don't be the dummies in the room. Bitcoin is the green energy solution, right? It makes all your green energy projects come to life, right? Whether they're little teeny projects or they're these massive, huge wind, like the T-Boone Pickens wind farm in West Texas. I've driven through it a couple of times. It's massive. Anytime you see a wind farm shot and it's like miles across and you see some dude in a cowboy hat, that's T-Boone Pickens wind farm. When T-Boone, which I think he just passed away, if I'm not mistaken, RIP if I'm wrong. He was pretty old. He was like getting close to 100 last time I checked. If his I forget the name of his capital group, if they realize that they can hook some of those things up to Bitcoin miners, when that happens, they're going to be making more. That's already starting to happen, right? Their marathons already figured that out, and they're taking some of that, some of those megawatts, and they're diverting it to go mine Bitcoin. Now it's not T-Boone Capital directly doing it, but they're selling that wind power probably in contracts, right? Where they're saying, we'll sell you this much per kilowatt or this much megawatt for X amount of years. And they've already calculated out using Bitcoin. There's these things called Bitcoin mining calculators. And they're like, we're in the profit by like year 3 or 4, right? But yeah, BTC miners can offset all CO2 emissions using a wasted flare gas. This is huge. It not only reduces methane, it reduces a ton of CO2 at the same time. So Bitcoin mining is like this cyber tree, right? That nobody wants to talk about. Again, if you want this green, beautiful economy and you want fossil fuels to fall to the wayside, Bitcoin enables this, right? As it deflates all the prices of these underlying assets, it deflates the price of oil, deflates the price of coal, deflates the price of wind, solar, etc. Guess what? Again, all of that stuff moves away from these petrol-based fuel solutions to the ones that become almost completely free, whether it's solar or it's wind or it's tidal. That's where all the Bitcoin mining compute will end up over the next 50 years, because it's going to make the Bitcoin to power generation ratio come way down. That's why methane is becoming so popular, because they can get that flare for almost free, if not free in some cases. We're like, yeah, we're not using it, go ahead. And the oil and gas companies are like, we're charging for that methane, right? What's going to happen at that point? Well, that methane fair mining company is going to go, we're going to wind, right?
Yeah, and this is that article from
yeah, go ahead.
About Mara, that they are heating like 80,000 homes in Finland.
Yeah. So they put the data centers underground, right? And they just, again, this is using thermodynamics, and they're just taking that heat and they're just channeling it around all of these blocks in Finland, right? And boom, we're heating houses for way less. And we're generating money, right? The guy in New York that we talked about last week, right? Who's got the bathhouse. He's like making bathhouses cool again, right? They're like 2,000-year-old, right? 2,000 years ago, bathhouses were like the thing. Like that's where everyone hung out. And again, he uses the Bitcoin miners to heat the pools, and then he's charging people to come in, and he's earning Bitcoin as he's heating the pools, and he's earning money from the people coming in. Hello, you got money coming from you, right? You're creating multiple revenue streams. As soon as you tie in Bitcoin mining, you're creating another revenue stream. That's why it has to be proof of work. Let's end on that. I think we've gone about an hour and a bit. Yeah, dude, unlocks the green economy.
I just had fun sharing links, you know.
Oh yeah, no. All the articles you shared were perfect. It shows time and time again that where these ESG projects would never be even considered because they're not profitable, they become instantly profitable as soon as he said he added, right? That's all it takes. I tell people, yeah, it's going to cost you $10,000 to $40,000, depending on what part of the world you live in. But if you're taking out a couple $1 million loan to create this massive dream of yours, why wouldn't you take that extra 40K and apply it to Bitcoin miners or Litecoin miners, right? Or Doge. And obviously, like I said earlier, if you're mining Litecoin, you're mining Doge at the same time. And when you look at ability, right, Bitcoin and Litecoin profitable mine coins. Why is that? Of work.
Yeah. We'll link all the articles and all the stuff underneath our videos, and give my article also a like. Go to my handle, and it's pinned at the top. We go through all these issues, all these things, all these amazing things, and I really enjoyed it, Gerald, as usual. You're the best.
Yeah. Let's thank all our sponsors, Quantum Expeditions, Shieldfolio, all the team at Bitcoin Live and all shows that are on Bitcoin Live. Thank you for putting out knowledge that's worth listening to, and Deorganized Media as well. And again, the show was Bitcoin Unlocks the Green Economy. I think Nick and myself shared enough examples to show you that this is the future of the world, and proof of work is where it's at. It can't be proof of stake. It eventually just fails. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. Take care. Have a great night or afternoon, wherever.
Bye-bye.